What a breaking news! Prince Harry's unstoppable mission with Sentebale Outshines Tabloid spin. The world woke up to yet another example of how a single headline can attempt to cloud the brilliance of a man whose life has been devoted to service. Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, the compassionate, determined and principled son of the late Princess Diana, once again found himself the subject of a sensational Daily Mail headline, courtesy of Richard Eden's so-called Eden Confidential. The headline, dripping with manufactured drama, declared, US officials sink Prince Harry's vague plan to trademark Sentebale charity. Yet beneath this tabloid theatre lies a truth too bright to be dimmed. Prince Harry's work, vision and heart for Sentebale remain untouchable. From the very first moment Prince Harry co-founded Sentebale with Prince Seeiso of Lesotho, he has poured not just resources but his soul into ensuring that children affected by HIV and extreme poverty in Lesotho and Botswana would not be forgotten. Sentebale, meaning forget-me-not in Sesotho, was never a publicity stunt. It is a living legacy of love, dignity and hope. To suggest, even in passing, that his plans are vague is not only inaccurate, it is an affront to the thousands of young lives transformed through his relentless commitment. Anyone familiar with Prince Harry's work knows his heart beats in rhythm with the causes he champions. Whether trekking through the cold highlands of Lesotho to meet children in remote villages, or standing at a podium in front of a global audience to rally support for HIV awareness, he does it not for applause, but for impact. His work is never vague. It is precise, intentional, and rooted in action. Every child who has received medical support, every youth who has been educated, every family who has found relief from the crushing weight of stigma, they are the living proof of Harry's clarity of purpose. The so-called setback, reported by Eden, is nothing more than an ordinary procedural moment in the trademark process, a process that even the most successful organizations navigate routinely. In the United States, it is standard for the Patent and Trademark Office to request clarifications before approving an application. This is not a failure. This is not a defeat. This is a normal step towards securing the legal protection Sentebale deserves in a country where its work is already admired. What makes the Daily Mail's framing so hollow is its attempt to downplay the magnitude of Harry's leadership. Prince Harry is not simply the figurehead of Sentebale. He is its lifeblood. He has walked the dusty roads of Lesotho, sat cross-legged in schoolrooms listening to the stories of children whose parents were lost to AIDS, and pledged, with every fibre of his being, to stand beside them. His empathy is matched only by his determination. These are not the actions of a man with vague intentions. These are the choices of a leader with laser-focused purpose. In the photographs accompanying the Mail's piece, Prince Harry stands beside Meghan, his partner not only in life, but in service. Meghan's calm elegance in a white halter top and wide-leg trousers is the perfect complement to Harry's open-collared grey suit, an outfit that reflects his down-to-earth approachability. They do not merely look united, they are united. Hand in hand, they walk into every challenge, their bond an unspoken declaration that their mission is shared and unshakable. Prince Harry's critics, often perched comfortably in newsrooms or behind screens, have never known the sting of cold mountain winds in Lesotho as he has, nor the weight of a small child's hand in his, trusting him without hesitation. They have not stood in crowded youth clubs where Sentebale's programs have empowered teenagers to speak openly about HIV for the first time in their lives. Yet from the safety of distance, they dare to suggest his work lacks clarity. Sentebale's record speaks louder than any tabloid. Through its Let Youth Lead program, it has trained young people to become advocates in their own communities, dismantling stigma and fostering hope. Its camps and clubs offer psychosocial support to children living with HIV, a service that changes not just health outcomes, but entire futures. Prince Harry has championed this cause at every opportunity, leveraging his global platform to keep the spotlight on an issue too often ignored. When critics attempt to derail the conversation with petty bureaucratic talking points, they reveal more about themselves than about Harry. The truth is that his leadership has already achieved what many deemed impossible, transforming the narrative around HIV from one of despair to one of empowerment. The trademark step is merely part of ensuring Sentebale's work can continue to grow internationally without the risk of its name or mission being diluted. Prince Harry has faced far greater challenges than a routine administrative request. He has endured relentless media intrusion, survived the trauma of losing his mother in the most public of tragedies, and made the courageous choice to carve out a life for himself and his family that aligns with his values. Each time the world has doubted him, he has responded not with bitterness, but with action. This moment is no different. The Daily Mail may try to spin a headline, but no tabloid ink can dim the brilliance of a man who has lived his life in service of others. Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, soldier, humanitarian, father, husband, leader, has faced storms fiercer than bureaucratic paperwork. And yet, every single time he emerges stronger, his resolve deepened, his vision sharpened. The latest headline from Richard Eden's Eden Confidential, claiming that US officials sink Prince Harry's vague plan to trademark Sentebale charity, is nothing more than a ripple against the tide of his lifelong commitment to making the world a better place. From the moment he co-founded Sentebale with Prince Seeiso in 2006, Prince Harry has been clear in his purpose: to ensure that vulnerable children living with HIV in Lesotho and Botswana are never forgotten, never abandoned, never made to feel less than they are. Sentebale, meaning forget-me-not in Sesotho, is not a slogan, it is a promise. It is a living oath that Harry has kept for nearly 2 decades, a promise backed by real, tangible, life-changing action. This is the same Harry who has walked through rural villages with no cameras in sight, greeting elders, sitting with children, listening to their stories without rushing to his next engagement. This is the same Harry who has spent nights at Sentebale camps, where children living with HIV find the courage to speak openly about their experiences, shedding years of silence and fear. This is the Harry who doesn't just lend his name to a charity. He lends his heart, his time, his energy, his voice. The idea that his trademark application was vague is a masterclass in media misdirection. In truth, the United States Patent and Trademark Office routinely requests clarification on applications, from billion-dollar corporations to tiny non-profits. It is a normal, expected, unremarkable step in the process. But the Daily Mail is not in the business of normal or unremarkable. It thrives on turning the ordinary into the scandalous. Yet even their most dramatic spin cannot erase the fact that Harry's leadership and vision remain as focused as ever. Prince Harry's work with Sentebale has already transformed thousands of lives. It has empowered young people to become advocates, dismantled stigma around HIV, provided education, and offered psychological support in places where such resources are scarce. These are the results of clarity, not vagueness, and every single one of these successes bears Harry's fingerprints. In the photographs chosen to accompany the Mail's headline, Harry is walking beside Meghan, the woman who shares his values, his commitment to service, and his courage in standing up to a hostile press. Meghan's elegance in a white halter and wide-leg trousers is matched by Harry's approachable style in an open-collared grey suit. They are not a couple weighed down by false narratives. They are a team advancing toward their next mission. The symbolism is unmistakable. 2 people hand in hand walking into the light, unbothered by the shadows cast behind them. The tabloid's insinuation that this is a setback underestimates Harry entirely. This is a man who has flown combat helicopters in Afghanistan, who has faced the trauma of losing his mother under the glare of the world's cameras, who has stood in front of millions to speak about mental health long before it was considered fashionable. A request for clarification on a trademark application is, in comparison, a paper cut, and Harry has weathered far greater wounds. To support Prince Harry is to support a vision of leadership that is compassionate, modern, and unafraid. His work is not about titles or ceremonies, it is about impact. Sentebale exists today not because it is easy, but because it is hard. Because reaching the forgotten and marginalized requires persistence, resilience, and courage. Harry has all 3 in abundance. And while the Daily Mail may have chosen to highlight this minor procedural moment, the reality is that Sentebale's programs are thriving. Children are receiving life-saving HIV treatment. Teenagers are finding their voices as community leaders. Stigma is being dismantled in towns and villages that once lived in silence. These victories matter more than any headline. Prince Harry is not a man who measures success by the approval of tabloids. He measures it by the number of lives changed, the communities strengthened, the futures brightened. Every journey has its moments of pause, of administration, of paperwork. But these do not define the journey. The journey is defined by the footsteps Harry takes over and over again toward the people who need him most. When history writes its verdict, it will not linger on the petty spin of a columnist. It will remember the prince who turned grief into purpose, who transformed privilege into service, who used his platform to lift others higher. It will remember the man who, despite relentless scrutiny, refused to give up on the people who depend on him. It will remember Prince Harry, not for a vague plan, but for a vision so clear it could not be stopped. In the end, the story is simple. Sentebale is strong. Its mission is alive. Its founder is unstoppable. And no headline, however cleverly written, can sink a heart as steadfast as Prince Harry's. The world sees through the noise. The people who matter. The children in Lesotho and Botswana, the communities strengthened by his work, the supporters who stand with him, know the truth. Prince Harry does not chase headlines. He changes lives. And in the quiet strength of that truth, all the spin in the world dissolves into irrelevance. To all my curious and amazing Sussex family, thank you all for watching, and do not forget to subscribe, like and put a comment. Bye-bye, see you in our next episode.